Today, we're jumping right into the fascinating and, yeah, often dramatic story of India's environmental laws. It's a legal battle that's been waged to save everything from its mighty rivers to its most iconic monuments. So let's start with the big question. Why do we even need these laws in the first place? To really get it, we need to go back in time and understand the sheer scale of the challenges that basically forced them into existence. And the problem, in a nutshell, is a planet that is under an enormous amount of strain. The pressures just kept building up over decades of growth, and eventually, they created problems that were simply impossible to ignore. I mean, think about it. With rapid industrialization came a really heavy price. Forests started vanishing, rivers were literally choking with waste, and the air in our cities became a toxic haze. This wasn't just some abstract ecological problem, it became a full-blown public health crisis, a direct threat to millions of lives. So, how did India respond to this growing crisis? Well, it fought back with a powerful new weapon, a whole legal rulebook designed from the ground up to protect its natural heritage. And this is where India's approach gets really unique. Back in 1976, environmental protection wasn't just a law they passed. It was woven into the very fabric of the nation's constitution. It became the fundamental duty of every single citizen. Just let that sink in for a moment. A constitutional duty to protect the planet. That constitutional promise was really the starting gun for a decades-long legal journey. From that global wake-up call at the 1972 Stockholm Conference to landmark laws like the 1986 Environment Protection Act, India was building its legal arsenal. And then, in 2010, it created a special weapon for environmental justice, the National Green Tribunal. But hey, this isn't just a random pile of laws. It's actually a carefully designed legal ecosystem with 4 key pillars. You've got laws to protect our water from industrial pollution, our air from toxic emissions, and our forests and wildlife from destruction. And then, holding the whole thing together is a set of powerful general acts. And right at the heart of this entire legal fortress is the Environment Protection Act of 1986. Now, this was forged in the aftermath of the horrific Bhopal gas tragedy, and it's basically a super law. It acts as a powerful umbrella, giving the central government the authority it needs to protect the environment with an iron fist. But of course, pollution doesn't carry a passport, right? It doesn't stop at political borders. So to be truly effective, national laws have to exist within a bigger, global framework. The 1992 Rio Earth Summit was a huge turning point, a moment when the world really came together to tackle these threats head-on. It produced groundbreaking agreements on climate change and biodiversity, and it set a global agenda for a sustainable future, an agenda that India fully embraced. Take the Basel Convention, for example, a global treaty on hazardous waste. Its message is simple and powerful. Stop dumping your toxic problems on other countries. Deal with your own waste, and even better, try not to create it in the first place. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, doesn't it? We have national laws, constitutional duties, international agreements, but this brings us to the most critical part of the story: enforcement. So here it is, the billion-dollar question. With all of these well-intentioned laws on the books, are they actually making a difference out there on the ground? And this is where we hit a fundamental design flaw. Most of these laws are like a fire department that only shows up after the house has already burned down. They punish polluters after the fact, instead of preventing the pollution from happening in the first place. It ends up being a constant game of catch-up. And the enforcement hurdles don't stop there. Imagine this bureaucratic maze where different government agencies are working at cross purposes, where the rules aren't always clear, and where the local communities, the people most affected, have very little say. That's the tough reality of environmental enforcement in many parts of India. So, if the system itself has these gaps, how does change actually happen? Well, this is where the story shifts to the incredible power of ordinary people and, you guessed it, the courts. Let me introduce you to the Public Interest Litigation, or PIL. You can think of it as India's legal superpower for the common citizen. It's this amazing tool that allows anyone to become a champion for the public good. It's built on a groundbreaking idea from India's Supreme Court, that the constitutional right to life also means the right to a clean and healthy environment. And just like that, it transforms ordinary people into environmental watchdogs. And to see the real-world power of the PIL, let's look at a case that literally saved a global icon. The magnificent Taj Mahal, a symbol of eternal love, was slowly being destroyed. Acid rain from nearby factories was literally eating away at its beautiful white marble, turning it this sickly yellow. But one man, a lawyer named MC Mehta, decided to fight back. He filed a PIL, and it launched a legal battle that would go on for an entire decade. And after a 10-year legal marathon, the Supreme Court delivered a knockout blow to the polluters. 230. That's how many factories were shut down, and hundreds more were forced to clean up their act. It was a stunning victory for the environment and for the power of a single determined citizen.
Now, that victory took 10 years, and the slow pace of justice has long been a huge challenge. To address this, a modern solution was created in 2010, the National Green Tribunal.
The National Green Tribunal, or NGT, is nothing short of a legal revolution. It's a fast-track court just for the environment where judges and scientists work side by side to deliver justice in just 6 months. It's a powerful new weapon in the fight against pollution, and it's a real beacon of hope for a cleaner, greener India. So at the end of the day, who really holds the power to protect our planet? The laws and treaties, they're just the tools in the toolbox. The real power, that lies in the hands of people who are willing to pick up those tools and fight for a better world. The only question is, are you ready to join the fight?